Real Country with Robert Miguel.
KVOU Sports with Drew. Presented by Chicago Title.
104.9 Coyote Country.
Once again, time for KVOU Sports with Drew. Sports with Drew. Come
Sports
on.
with me.
Ooh, yeah.
Love it. Happy to be here as always, Robert. Thank you. 116 Northeast Street, Uvalde, Texas. Win Dubose, branch manager, Chicago Title. 830-333-7050.
Call Chicago Title.
Yeah, for all your real estate needs.
That's right.
Perfect. We'll get right into it, my friend, if that sounds good to you.
Absolutely. Let's
So,
get some
I don't know
sports.
if you saw that video of Kawhi Leonard, who used to be, obviously, a lot of people are going to be mad because he's the ex-Spurs guy that, we talked about it a little bit, I think, maybe, where he kind of requested the trade, but he wasn't really requesting the trade. He was saying he was hurt, but he wasn't really hurt, or was he hurt? I don't know. There's a whole big hoopla.
People were angry.
Yeah,
I remember that part, yeah.
San Antonio's they were mad. Well, he's now with the Toronto Raptors. Game 7, they're playing the 76ers. Like 2 or 3 seconds left. They inbound the pass. He center, runs all the way up to the top of the key, shoots, man. Okay, shoots. The ball hits, bounces 4 times, goes in, and they win.
Whoa!
If you
4
can't,
times
you
off the
have
rim?
to. Yes, you have
That's
to.
awesome.
No, it's like out of a movie, like slow motion.
Wow.
He has enough time to. He shoots. He watches it and it bounces, so he goes down into a crouch, like, oh man, I missed it, and then he sits down and watches the other 3 bounces, and it goes in, and they win. To go to the finals.
I can't wait to go watch that.
Man, you have to.
That's exciting stuff.
I was like, what? No way. And at first I was like, he missed it. Haha. But then I was like, okay, that was impressive. Because he's being double teamed, shoots over Joel Embiid. It was awesome.
Why can't all basketball be that interesting?
Seriously, it was crazy. Because usually, you get down to the last 10 seconds
Right.
and it's a 15-minute game because they're, doing the whole thing. Yeah, but this was awesome. So Raptors, they're now we've got our 4 final teams. So we've got Raptors versus the Bucks, and then Trailblazers versus the Warriors. And hey, listen, man, I'm all for, I think some dynasties are cool and stuff, but I would like to see the Warriors not win one. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know. I would love to see one of the other 3 teams. Any of the other 3 teams, I think, would be awesome.
How many times have the Warriors won?
Shoot, what
Just
are we on? Is it 3 out of the last 5 years or
something
something?
like that? Okay.
Something like that.
Change it up.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all. It's it's kind of fun to see the Patriots every once in a while, but they at least lose enough every once in a while.
Yeah.
Like Brady's all right, well we'll let somebody else sell some jerseys for a couple of years. So so I had to pull this one because I know you're a Mavs fan, but
Mavericks, come out.
Well, yeah, this you might not be happy about this story. Sorry, buddy. So Kristaps Porzingis, he's a player for the Mavericks. He's from European country Latvia.
Okay.
So there was a video that showed he was outside of a club and he's all bloody. Dude's 7'3", mind you, Robert.
Yeah.
So he's a huge human being. Who would want to pick a fight with this guy? I just don't understand. But it looks like he actually ended up on the bad end of this one. Shirt ripped, bloodied face, blood on his forehead. He's kind of going after guys, but not really going after guys in the video. It seems like it caught up. The video was started after the fact. Somebody probably saw whoa, that's Kristaps Porzingis. I should probably film what's going on because he's bloodied and ripped up. But I haven't found anything else. But it does. If you go watch the video,
So it's like a bar fight, basically?
Yeah, pretty much. And who knows?
Wait, and so you're saying where did this happen?
So this is in Latvia. This is
So
outside
this is in his home
country.
Yeah, home country.
Yeah. So somebody might have had some bets on him earlier in the season. Seriously, something going on. But so
poor Mavericks, man. It must be terrible to be hated in Dallas or
and then to go back to your own country and then to not
be
be there too. So I don't know.
Kicked. I'd like to really know the backstory of how that happened.
Yeah. Seriously, I was thinking the same thing. So moving on, sticking with some NBA stuff. So
hey kids, don't fight.
Don't fight.
Don't
ever.
drink.
It's not good unless you're into contact sports and you're doing it in a ring where somebody can protect you and watch over you. Don't fight. There's no point.
And if you're 7 feet tall, you can still get your butt kicked.
Yes, you can.
That's
It happens
a lesson.
all the time.
There you go.
So sticking with the NBA, the New Orleans the Pelicans, they actually have won the lottery. Like we talked about in the NBA, there's a lottery system to have the the draft, first round pick. So there's a guy, Zion Williamson, dude's out of Duke, if I'm not mistaken. The guy is unbelievable, massive man, going to be the next big thing this year. Number 1 draft pick, more than likely. New Orleans has the first round pick. So this is the first time they've had it since 2012, whenever they chose Anthony Davis, who's been a really good player for them. And Anthony Davis was actually looking for a trade before this season and looking for it, after the season, he wanted to go somewhere else. But now, with him getting the first draft, and he might have some support, there's some talk that Anthony Davis will probably want to stick around. That way he can share the court with Zion Williamson and have a really good chance. Because this is a guy that will probably come into the league, barring that he doesn't get hurt, come in and make a difference for whatever team he is on immediately. So I just thought that was pretty neat. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
So switching gears a little bit, I just had to pull this just because this is such a really cool record. So there was this past weekend there was a state tournament for track and field, and it's held at University of Texas track and field. The what's it called, the stadium there.
Okay.
Sorry, I went blank for a second. And it's there was a gentleman, Matthew Bowling, Boling, out of Houston Strake Jesuit. He's a senior. He broke the 100-meter dash record with 10.13 seconds. And that was a record that was held by a gentleman of Austin, Greenville High School. Guy's name was Henry Neal, since 1990, and the previous record was 10.15. So I just thought I'd pull that. It's now
it's 10.13.
Yeah.
And 100 meters?
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
Yeah,
oh,
and
man.
you've got Olympic guys that are running a little under 10 in the 9s.
I need to get on a diet quick.
Shoot, I could barely drive that in my truck that fast. Nobody, it's nuts. I don't know. It's crazy stuff.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So there's a couple of big stories. I want to cover some of the smaller stuff, some baseball stuff. I just had to cover this real quick. There's a gentleman by the name of Vlad Guerrero. He played for the Expos whenever they were still the Expos, the Angels. Well, his son, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., hit his first 2 home runs a couple nights back, which I just thought was awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
He's been a number 1 prospect. He's with the Blue Jays. He homered 2 times in a game, and I just thought he's one of those guys that people have been watching. He's kind of a big guy, plays third base. He hits balls really far. Really fun to watch. His dad is well known because he would swing at anything. He actually got a hit one time on a ball that bounced before he hit it. Yeah, that was his deal. Is like, if they throw it, I'm going to swing at it. So Vlad Guerrero Jr. has more of a better zone. So I just wanted to cover that. I thought that was really
it's
cool.
fun to say Vladimir.
It is.
It's a cool name.
Especially, you wouldn't think that those are 2 names that go together, but it does. Just rolls off the tongue.
Love it.
So moving on to some tennis stuff. Serena Williams withdrew from the Italian Open Tuesday. Ahead of her second round match she was actually going to be playing her sister, Venus, because of a previously injured left knee. This is kind of a big deal because it's the 3rd straight event that she's 37 now. It's the 3rd straight event that she's had to exit due to physical problems. So I really hope everything gets back on track. I mean, you're talking about one of, if not the greatest single female tennis player of all time. Her or her sister are definitely in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? So I think that I hope everything gets back on track for her. You always love to see the sisters go at it like that.
Yeah.
It's a really neat thing to see, and I really hope that she gets back on top.
Hey, you know what? She's got plenty going on, man. She's a household name now.
Yeah, for sure.
I was watching that movie. Remember that movie Pixels?
Yeah.
With Adam Sandler?
Yes,
She
yes.
does a little cameo
Does
in that.
she? Yes,
And,
yes, she does, doesn't she?
She's there with the guy, the Tyrion from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, anyway, that's
No,
made me
no,
think of
yeah.
that. But,
No, I hope that-
she could keep on acting. She could be a model. She could do makeup
she could
commercials.
easily do plenty of stuff. But
She can sell me anything.
Yeah, for sure. So this is a kind of a sad one. This is for all the boxing fans out there, and I'm sure people have already heard. If you ever watch boxing on HBO, you remember they used to do the Harold Letterman Tale of the Tape, where he would give his take on the fight. The guy was a mainstay with HBO for almost 50 years. The guy was amazing. He just pretty much became a household name. Well, he passed at the age of 79. He was a pharmacist by trade, but he became the unofficial scorer for HBO on some of the biggest fights of all time. And I just think I wanted to mention that. I grew up watching boxing with my dad. And I've obviously known who Harold Letterman is for a long time, so I saw that he had passed, and I definitely wanted to say something.
I kind of even forgot that HBO does or did.
They
sports.
are no longer.
They don't really do sports.
No,
much,
well,
right?
they're not no longer doing the fights.
I mean, but they used to be very.
Yeah, they were the one.
Yeah, I remember
besides getting the pay-per-view events, they did fights all the time.
Well, HBO. I mean, I remember it used to be more of like your standard kind of cable movie channel.
Yeah, for sure.
Now I only watch HBO for like Game of Thrones, and like major, like their original
big shows.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
So weird, but yeah, HBO just kind of used to be like a Cinemax kind of a Showtime.
Yeah, and
plug in some movies.
Exactly.
And, it was weird.
And they've gone to
and a lot of sports back in the day.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel, still one of really good shows. One of the first shows to really kind of go into depth with that hard-hitting stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You just took me back, man. That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, for sure. So, last couple of things. This is a big one because this is needed to be talked about for years, and I'm as an ex-college athlete, which obviously my likeness was never used. I was never a big-name guy, but just playing in college and playing, not playing with, but I played with guys that were big-name guys that played, big Division I schools, UT, A&M, West Virginia, stuff like that, Texas Tech. The NCAA is now looking how its rules can be modified. This is a direct quote. Sorry, NCAA is looking at how its rules can be modified to allow college athletes to be compensated for their names, images, and likenesses. So, if you didn't know, Robert, the deal is you cannot be paid. Period. In college for anything that you did. And this has been a really bad deal because there's been, you look at how many not baseball, but how many video games have been made with different college names. They don't necessarily use the names, but they use the likeness. They know exactly what's going on. Or how many jerseys are sold online with, Baker Mayfield on the back or something along those lines. Or,
right.
How these schools are making, take Manziel. How many jerseys did A&M sell back whenever he was playing that just boosted their revenue? Think about it. Like, you're talking about millions of dollars that guy brought into that school alone. Like, this is something that needed to be talked about for a long, long time. And finally, they're going to have... So the NCAA said a final report from the working group is due to the Board of Governors in October. And me, as somebody, like I said, knows a lot of guys that their likeness has been used in games and other stuff, I would like to see this change to where you have guys that... a lot of these players can't go get jobs. They don't have time to go get jobs.
Sure.
And I know this is one of those things. It's going to be kind of a divisive thing. But if you're playing a sport and going to school, you don't have a whole lot of time. You can't go get a part-time job to help with different bills or just making. Having enough food stuff to go eat. Like, yes, you're probably getting some kind of meal plan through their cafeteria or something, but let's be honest here. Everybody doesn't want to just sit there and eat cafeteria food every day whenever they're in college. So how do you, these guys, ladies, they don't have enough time to go get these jobs.
No, I think you're onto something there. I definitely feel like you should be able to work and earn a living while you go to college.
And if you're bringing in money,
I do feel though that you might be opening up a Pandora's box when you start getting students. You know what I mean? Contracts while they're supposed to be technically studying.
No, for sure.
And that I think that the argument could be made that you're taken away from the main focus, and then you got to worry
totally
about
understand.
Contracts, and this and that becomes more of a business. I already think there's already too much sports business,
for sure,
in colleges anyway.
Yep.
But I don't know. That's definitely a conversation.
You got to take into account, Robert, that you are pretty much as an 18-year-old, 17, 18-year-old. You're signing pretty much a contract whenever you sign that letter of intent.
If you're an adult and you're working hard and you're making somebody money, sure, you deserve
exactly.
A piece of that.
That's the deal. If you're sitting on there and you're putting your life at stake, stepping onto it, which we've had that conversation again. That is its own deal. You are, but still, you should be compensated. And I'm not talking about millions of dollars, thousands of dollars, but if you're making a school millions of dollars through the merchandise that your name and your likeness is selling, then I think that you should be, especially whenever you have something as bad as the NCAA just raking in this cash.
Yeah, and also considering that, your career could end in a couple of years anyway.
Exactly.
May as well cash in.
Yeah,
the
you
short
might
term
not.
can.
Some of these guys might not. They get into their first year in professional football, baseball.
They're done.
Get hit in the wrong spot,
Right.
or somebody's on the mound and throws their arm out, and they're done after 10 games in their professional career, and it's over.
I think you're right, man.
Yeah.
Give these kids some cash.
Yeah,
All right,
I
all
like
right.
it. So last story, and this is one of those weird ones, Robert. Tiger Woods.
Mm-hmm.
He owns a restaurant in Florida. His girlfriend runs a restaurant as the manager.
Okay.
So there was a gentleman by the name of Nicholas Imesberger. I don't want to mispronounce that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but he was
We'll call
24.
him Nick.
Yeah, had a blood alcohol content that was more than 3 times legal limit, and he crashed his car on December 10th, 2018, and he passed. So there's a lawsuit that's been brought up where Tiger Woods, his girlfriend, and the company that the restaurants own have been named as they're being sued. So this is where it gets kind
Like
of
wrongful death kind of thing? Or
yeah. So
Okay.
his deal is they are stating Woods' girlfriend's name is Erica Herman. They're stating that Erica pretty much hired this Nicholas to be a bartender, knowing that he was an alcoholic, and that after this night, the night of the crash, he worked an early shift. And then after he was continued, he stayed and drank, and that's where he became intoxicated and then drove home. So that's where it gets weird. And per, I guess, the way the law is stated, that you as an individual owner can be sued. So, and I guess it gets even weirder where they claim that the video showing Nicholas drinking at the restaurant has been destroyed.
Huh.
So that's
Whoa.
where...
Well, that's fishy.
Yeah, the plot thickens a little bit. Obviously, I don't want to, as it's an ongoing investigation, you can't really speculate. It gets kind of weird.
Oh, I'll speculate.
Okay, fair enough.
Look, what's Tiger Woods and his are they his mommy and daddy or not? You
No.
know what I mean? He's a
Yeah.
grown man, right?
Yeah.
He can legally drink.
For sure.
I
24.
don't look. I feel for anybody who has that sickness. Absolutely.
Yes.
But it sounds like a cash grab to me. Is what it sounds like. Just like I said, I don't know much about it. But let's sue the rich guy.
And from what I understand, neither of them were at the bar the day of. And it's like, well, I can understand exactly. I think it's one of those things that can be a little bit there. It's one of those where they're claiming that they knew he was addicted and he had this problem, and then it becomes like, well, why is the family allowing him to work in this capacity?
Well, you know what I mean. Whether or not anybody knows somebody's an alcoholic, that's not on anybody.
No.
Now, I guess where Tiger and the girlfriend do have to worry is the guy's drinking in their establishment.
Yep.
Somehow he left. If
And
there
their
are
bartender
rules,
was serving them.
right. So the bartender obviously has something to worry about because there
Yes.
are TABC rules that
Yeah.
apply.
Well,
to
this is in Florida, but we're
I would
guess
think so.
speculating
Something
that
similar
yes,
over
exactly.
there,
Yeah.
right? Exactly. So there's got to be some kind of law in place as to how you can let
Yeah.
somebody leave an establishment. One would think. So I don't know. Maybe there's something there, but it sounds to me like if it goes to trial, someone's going to go, well, look, the guy's a grown man. I would hope.
Yeah.
Nobody's shoving the liquor down his
Exactly.
throat, right? So,
Exactly. So I don't know. It's one of those weird deals. I hope it all gets worked out. Hope everything gets kind of taken care of because he just got that medal from President Trump a few weeks ago. Stuff like that. So, and he seems like he's really getting his career back. And I'm a Tiger fan.
Yeah.
I like to see the guy succeed. He's done really good stuff for the sport. So I don't know. But as always,
And there's lesson number 2, kids. Don't drink.
Yes.
Don't drive.
don't drive. Yes.
All right.
If you are going to, don't drink unless you're 21. And if you are going to drink, just make sure you have a good ride. It's
That's
not that
right,
hard.
man.
You know what I'm saying?
Uber.
Yeah, Uber. And if you're not around Uvalde, if obviously not in Uvalde, just have a friend that doesn't drink come pick you up. It's not that hard.
That's
Take
right.
care of yourself.
Designated driver.
Designated
All
driver.
right,
That's
all
a cool
right.
thing
Very
to do. So Chicago Title, 116 Northeast Street. Wynn Dubose, branch manager, 830-333-7050. As always, thank you very much, Robert.
Thank you once again, KVOU Sports with Drew.
Sports with me.
Chicago Title is
Yeah.
back. All right.
Take care.
Real Country with Robert Miguel.
KVOU Sports with Drew, presented by Chicago Title.
On 104.9 Coyote Country.